Hey guys, so this week we're going to be talking about conic sections. Actually, we're going to talk about it this week and next week. We're just going to talk about circles and ellipses this week. So a conic section is just that. It's part of a cone. If we slice it with a parallel plane, that creates a circle for us. And if we go at an angle, that's whenever we create an ellipse. Now, if it's not quite perpendicular to the base, that's going to be a parabola. We talk about those quite a bit. That's your quadratic equations. Now, if you have two cones joined at the apex and it is perpendicular, that creates what we call a hyperbola. Not to be confused with a hyperbole from English. And if you know how to make these equations, you can actually do some really cool stuff, like those smiley faces and whatnot that we saw in Desmos. So the circle, that's the first one. That's the first lesson we're talking about, is the circle. It's the basic one, it's the main one. Let's get it. So there's two parts of a circle, the center and the radius. If you know those two things, you can make the circle. Here's the standard form equation. That's what you need to know. That's what you need to be able to use. It's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. HK is your center. Notice the opposite signs. So if it's x minus 4, positive 4 would be the x coordinate of your center. So again, same info. I'm going to try and make this quick, but there are a few things that you need to recall. The midpoint formula, distance formula, and completing the square, or the shortcut. We did all three of these last year in geometry. Do I expect you to remember them exactly? No, I don't. But hopefully you do. We're going to write the equation of the circle, and we're going to graph the circle using standard form. That's what we're doing in the first lesson. Let's get it. So I'm going to go ahead to your, the Google Slides, because we're using slides since we're going to be graphing. For the equations, you're just going to make a simple text box. Don't make it too big. We got 2 problems on a page, so make sure you don't move into the other problem. So my center is negative 4, 6. So if I remember my formula, right here, x minus h squared. So that's x minus a negative 4. So that's going to be x plus 4. Turn caps lock off. Squared. And again, to get the superscript, for me, it's command dot. For you, it's probably control dot, or you can just go to format, text, and superscript. All right, for my y part, I need y minus a oh, nope, it's not negative, so y minus 6. That's it. Squared equals r squared. So r is 4, so 4 squared is 16. We're not going to write 4 squared. We're actually going to do the arithmetic and write it as a 16. Now, that's it. Same thing for this one. And since we have this on a computer, it might be nice if you just copy and paste, drag it on over. And you can just change this 4 to a negative 9, because it's x minus 9. That's a 0, so I can just write y squared. Now this is an interesting part. That's why I wanted this one. It's 5 square roots of 3. We got to square that. So you could either know how to do the arithmetic on this. 5 squared is 25. Square root of 3 squared is 3. 25 times 3 is 75. Or you can take a calculator. Make sure you put it in parentheses if you don't have math type. So I'd write, I'm going to put it in parentheses anyway, 5 square root of 3. Get out of there. I'm going to I have it in parentheses, and I'm going to square it. It gives you 75. If I didn't have those parentheses, I bet it would give me 15. Yep. So order of operations. Make sure you put your thing in parentheses, otherwise your calculator will do what you say and not what you want it to do. Now, what if we have the graph of a circle, and we want to get the equation from it? Well, the center is, the dot in the middle of the circle. So you just find out its coordinates. To get the radius, you count, either up, down, left, or right from the center. So let's look over here. So my center, let's see, here's 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So I have -3. I'm gonna write that down. You don't have to, but if I were doing this on paper, I'd write it down. So -3, and then 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, I already did that. 1, 2, 3, 4. -4. That's my center. So center, my radius, 2. 1, 2. So then I can type my equation, which I already had copy pasted. So I just did that. So I'm going to change these. It's -3, so it's going to make +3. -4, so it's going to make +4. And then 2 squared is 4. Done. And you do the same thing here. I'm not going to bother doing it. Just get your center and your radius from your circle. It's at 0, 1. And then this radius is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0, 1 for your center, 6 for your radius, plug it in, done. More interesting problem. What if we have the center and an endpoint? This is where you're going to need to use the midpoint and distance formulas. Okay? So we need two things for a circle. We need its center and we need its radius, right? Well, if we have the center and an endpoint, we can use the distance formula to get the radius, and we already have the center. So it's going to look something like this. This is what we're given. I do not need to see your work. I just don't. If you want to show me, great. I can show you where you messed up if you messed up. But if you just want to do this on paper, it's a lot easier, in my opinion. So you can just do it on paper and then write your equation out. I will do one of them, only one of them, over here so you can see what you have to go about doing. So let's think about this. We got our center. That's good. We need the radius. The distance from the center to a point on the circle is my radius. So I need the distance between these 2 points. This is my distance formula. If you don't remember it, well, all right, write it down right now. Okay, hopefully you paused it and wrote it down. So distance, so I'm going to write R for my distance because that's what my distance is. I need an equation. So I'm going to insert an equation. So I'm going to insert an equation. Guess I'm not going to insert an equation. Where's my equation button? Sorry, give me a minute. Pausing the video to find it. Sorry, guys. I'm back. Sorry, I couldn't find it because it doesn't exist. So again, yeah, don't need to show me your work, but if you want to, you could insert a character, draw a square root symbol, and there it is. So square root, I'm gonna use parentheses because that's what I got. So I'm gonna use another parenthesis for my x's. X minus x squared plus y minus y squared. That's what it is. That's the distance formula. Right here. X minus x squared, y minus y squared. So -4 minus a -2 squared. The formula does say x2 minus x1, but if you think about it, we're squaring it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. 12 minus +6 squared. So this is my distance formula. I just plugged it in. Let's simplify a little bit. Copy that. Okay, -4 minus a -2. That's -2 squared plus 6 squared. That's 4 plus 36. So R equals the square root of 40. That's it. You could simplify that, could you? Let's see. Yeah, you could call that 2 square roots of 10, but, wait, 2 square roots of 10? Yeah, 2 square roots of 10, but who cares? We don't simplify it. No, absolutely no reason to simplify it. It makes it more difficult. Square root of 40, 2 square roots of 10, factor tree works too, but just don't simplify it, because we need to write the equation, right? So we're gonna have to square this thing. What's easier to square, 2 square roots of 10 or square root of 40? Square root of 40. So let me go back and just copy because I'm lazy. Copy my general equation, there, paste it right there. Stick it down a little bit. I've got my center, negative 2, 6. That's going to be plus 2. Oh, minus 6. Hey, that's nice. Square root of 40 squared, let me think, is 40. There we go. So here's the work you'd have to do. Don't need to show me. Just give me the equation. Call it a day. Now, what if instead of given, we're given the center and an endpoint here. On this one, we're given the endpoints of a diameter. So this is one end, that's the other end. Let's see what that looks like. So we have one end, the other end, and this could be, rotated around any which way. Oops. Well, those dots could be anywhere on the circle. It doesn't need to be straight horizontal. But one key point about the diameter is it passes through the center. In fact, the center is in the middle of the diameter, which means we're going to use the midpoint to find my center. And then from there, we can use the distance formula. So I'm going to do the work over here because it's a lot easier. Let's see which one I choose, number 12. So I'm going to do the work here and then just write my answer over here. That's what I expect you to do. Do your work on paper, put your answer here. All right, so my midpoint formula, if you don't remember, I face this in the way. Sum of the x is divided by 2, sum of the y is divided by 2. That's it. So my center is going to be, oh, that's too thick. My center is going to be 0 plus negative 8 over 2. And again, I'm not going to see any of this, so you don't have to write it out if you don't need to. Negative 3 plus 3. We're adding them together. x1 plus x2, y1 plus y2. Dividing those by 2. Simplify that. That's going to be negative 4 and 0. That's my center. Now I need my radius. To get your radius, you're going to take the center and either endpoint. Doesn't matter which one. This one's got a 0, so I'm going to use that one. But always use your center and endpoint for your radius. You could use both endpoints and divide it by 2, but sometimes, that gets kind of messy. You got to have your center anyway, so might as well use it. So, all right, let's see. Radius. Square root of, I can make a nice long square root bar. Less parentheses needed. Negative 4 minus 0 squared plus 0 minus a negative 3 squared. So that's negative 4 squared plus 3 squared. So that's going to be 16 plus 9. Hey, it's a nice number. So that's square root of 25, which of course is 5. So my radius is 5. My center is negative 4, 0. So now I can write my equation. X plus 4 squared plus y minus nothing's just y squared equals 5 squared, which is 25. And that's what I'm going to put over here. Do I have it copy pasted? Yes, I do. Copied, and I've pasted it. Plus 4, hey, that's nice. That's just going to be y squared. That's going to be 25. Boom, done. Now for graphing them. And here's where it's going to get messy. Whenever we're graphing, we have to make sure they're in standard form. If they're not in standard form, we got to put it in standard form. So this one is in standard form, so basic graphing problem first, just so you can see what you need to do, but make sure you're in standard form. If you're not looking like this, make it look like that. So my center is going to be -2, 5. Opposite signs. My radius is square root of 9, which is 3. And if you put your text box too far down, let me show you. You're not going to be able to grab your dots. So make sure you have a smaller text box here. So I have different colored dots. Put the red one in the center. -2, 5. -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. -2, 5. And then you're going to use your radius and count. I grab the dot. 1, 2, 3. These don't have to be perfect, but if you want to adjust it a little bit, you can use the arrow keys. Better yet, use shift arrow keys, and you can get them really nice and precise. As long as it's close, I don't care. And 3 up. About right there. 3 to the left. And 3 down. Boom. Now, to make your circle, you have 2 options. You could go and use that scribble tool again. I don't like it. They've got a circle button. Use it. Now, when you're making your circle, you need to start by putting your cursor on somewhere. I like using what my radius is, 0, 3. This is a radius of 3, so I use 0, 3. And I do that, and I come down here to this, 3, 3, or 3, 0. Now, it makes an ellipse unless you hold the shift button while you're moving it. It'll make a perfect circle. So if you do that, you can just hold shift and go down until you have the right radius. And I said 3, I meant 6. You need to go with your diameter, not your radius. So right there. And then you just move it over here. And I'm going to make it transparent in a second. And transparent. And there I go. There's my circle. I can make it a little thicker. Even thicker if I wanted to. Doesn't matter. Make it a red circle. Black circle. Doesn't matter. There we go. Boom. Done. That was the easy one. Let's look at this one. It's not in standard form, so we need to rearrange it first. I do want to see the rearranged equation. I don't need to see your work to rearrange it, but I do need to see the equation. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this because out of time. Well, I'll try and finish. So we need to rearrange this real quick. So I'm going to come over here and do the rearranging. Oops. So first thing, I need to get my y over here. I'm just going to move that. It's negative, so it's going to become positive. Which it better be positive, otherwise it won't be a circle. I cannot write right now. And move this 8 to the other side too. It's going to be positive 8 on the right side of the equation. Add 8 to both sides. And I divide through by 2. Because, well, you can't have any coefficients there. If I divide 8 by 2, I get a 4. So my center, 1, -6. Radius is 2. I'm just going to use that. So I would want to see this, but I'm not going to write it down here. I wrote it down. Come on, there we go. I'm not going to write it over here. I do have it written here. When you do it, I want to see it over here. Radius is 2. Center, 1, -6. 1, -6. if I counted correctly. Put your dots, it's a radius of 2. Go kind of quick here. All right, gonna make a circle. Our radius is 2, I'm gonna start at 4. Hold down my shift button, go to the x-axis, boom, there's a circle. Make it transparent, make it a little thicker, make it darker. Move it on over here. There's my circle. Now this one's where it gets messy. This one's not nearly in standard form, it's in general form. Not even, it's messy. We have to complete the square. So, if you don't remember, first we need to arrange the x's, leave some space. So group those together. We're gonna add something to it. Now the y's. In fact, I do the y's in blue. We're actually going to complete the square twice. Once for the x's, once for the y's. This is a positive 2y on the right side, so it's become a negative 2y on the left. Again, we're going to add something to it. And then, I'm writing my graph here, but that's okay. It's going to equal something. You need to move whatever constants you have to the right side of the equation. It equals negative 41 in this case, plus 2 somethings. I added something here, I added something here. I need to add it to the left. I added to the left side of the equation. I need to add it to the right side of the equation. Let me just stick my face down here for a minute. Now, the proper way to complete the squares is b over 2 squared. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 squared is 49. If I add it to the left, I need to add it to the right. Negative 2 over 2 squared, that's negative 1 squared, which is 1. Add that to the left and the right. Now these are perfect square trinomials. We factored those a couple weeks ago. So all you need to do is cut your middle term in half, keep the sign. That's going to be positive 7 squared. That's going to be negative 1 squared. If we add all that together, we get 9. Negative 41 and 49 makes 8 plus 1 is 9. There's your equation, done. Shortcut. First, I would suggest getting everything to the left side. So I'm going to do this again, but with a shortcut. So first thing I'm going to write x squared plus 14x, pretty much the same first step, plus y squared minus 2y equals negative 41. So I need to make sure it's arranged properly. My x's and my y's on the left, constant on the right. Then I'm just going to write down my center. So if we look at what happened here, we basically just cut this in half to get our standard form. So if I cut it in half and change the sign, that's my center. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Cut it in half and change the sign. So 14 divided by 2 is 7, so it's negative 7 for my center coordinate, my h. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, change the sign, makes it 1. So that's my center. Cut in half and change sign. Now, the radius. So we're going to take this thing and add the square of these. That's actually r squared. So if we do that, we get negative 41 plus 49 is 8, plus 1 is 9. You just type in the calculator. So R is 3. Center radius done. Check it back with the actual work. Negative 7, 1, negative 7, 1, and R is 3. And if I plot that on here, I think I made too small the graph. Oops. Okay, all right. Negative 7, 1. And a radius of 3. So I'm just going to not put the left one for now. Once I make my circle, I'll be able to see where it goes. That's pretty sketch, but whatever. It's 6. So if I just go from here down to here, that should be about right. And then make that transparent. Why is it blue black? Okay, so yeah, definitely easier if we go with these lines. 3, 6. There we go. Did I miscount or something? I don't know. Stop moving. So it does get a little annoying. It tries to connect the dots. Oh, I miscounted here. That should definitely be a 4. I mean, definitely be 3, not 4. And then we can see over here. Hey, look, there's where my dot goes. Yay. So it's okay if it hangs off. Okay, that's completing the square, and the shortcut for completing the square. Radius, all this work. So how do we do it? Fine. That's it for circles. Next will be ellipses. Bye, guys.